Tiktuk Masot HaMikra, Parashat Vayera 1. The reference here is to Perek Yud Pasuk Gimal. Vayomar Ado Shem, Aleph Daled Nun, Yod and Yod with a kamatz under the nun. Now Rashi brings down two opinions as to what that word means, Ado Shem. The first is the Peshat, is the Gadol Shelahem Amar. He was talking to, he addressed them all, and Kera'am Kulam Adonim, Adoshem, the way it's written with a kamatz, even a patah, and not a hirik. If it didn't say Adoni, it means plural. He's talking Adoshem, or when in the secular, Adonim Sheli, Ado, and then Nai. So therefore, he's saying, my masters. Now the pasuk continues in the singular. Al na ta'avor, also in the singular. So what happened? The first perush according to Rashi is, first he called them all together by the name Adonim Sheli, Ado, and Nai, meaning my masters. And then he addressed Ukaram Kulam Adonim, but then he talks to Gadol Shelahem. He talked to the head malach, who turns out Michael. And he said, in that case, if that's the way it's explained the Peshat, is Hol. The word Adoshem is really Ado, and then with a kamatz even, is Hol. That it's not a holy name, you can go back over it and all that. That's one opinion in the from the Mefarshim and also in the Gemara. In the Mahloket is in Gemara Shevuot, I think it is, right? Where whether it's these names are Hol or Kodesh. Now, Rashi then talks about the Varachel Kodeshu. The name is a holy name, and you have to treat it, Adoshem, it's like the real name of God. So what happens? That he turned around, this is the Midrash, he turned around, he was talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu came to be Rofeh Holeh, he came to check and see how he was feeling and help him get better. He as a choleh, he just had the milah and he was in pain. B'yom shelishi. So therefore, he was talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and then he sees the malachim coming. So he ran out to get the malachim, but he couldn't leave HaKadosh Baruch Hu without saying something. So he asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He turned to him and he said, "Please, God, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I have guests coming. So maybe you could wait a little bit." Very strange, but that's what he said. And he did the right thing, apparently. So in that case, Adoshem is Kodesh. He was talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he asked him to wait while he runs after the visitors. Okay, so that's the Mahlokas. The Radak basically says the same thing, and it's based on the Gemara in Shevuot, Lamed He Amud Bet. And in the Rashi, over there, he explains it as well. So one is Hol, one opinion is Hol, one is Kodesh, but Radak says one little different thing. He said, why, and Rashi referred to that he called if it's Hol, and the word Ado, and with Nai, with adding that section, it means Adonim Sheli, he addressed them as my masters. But the Radak says, no, it's a little different. That word also in the plural, with a kamatz, it means Adonim Sheli. He didn't say Adoni Bechirik. He talked to them, and he talked to even the individual, Gadol Shebehem. He referred to him in the plural sense, because that's Shem Kavod. When you talk to kings and others, you use in Hebrew and in other languages, you use the plural, my masters, instead of just saying my master or my king. They use the plural in Hebrew, particularly. It's referred to in the plural sense, even when you're addressing a singular individual, because he's a hashuv. He's very important. So the Radak says that's really what was meant here. He was addressing the individual, but he was addressing him b'lashon rabim. So, and he didn't say Adoni, but he used the term Adonim. Adonim Sheli, Ado, and then the Nai. In that case, it would be because it's an elevated type of discussion. It's a high-level derech kavod, and therefore it would really be, in that case, Hol. the way the Rashi said it in the beginning. Though Rashi used the term Adonim to refer to all of them at one time. Radak says it could also be that he's talking to the individual in Lashon Kavod, which is the plural. Now the Ramban and the Ben Bachya, who explains the Ramban says the following here, very short, very brief, and Ben Bachya explains more. He amplifies the Ramban. The Ramban says the following: Matzina oto b'sfarim kamutz. There's a kamatz under the nun. And then here it says v'hinei kera'am b'shem rabam be'alef dalet. Actually, the better text, the nusach, is hinei kera'am b'shem rabim, according to Rabbeinu Bachya on the Ramban. And alef dalet is left off too. So in other words, he referred to them in the plural, and that's why it's kamutz. But when you find a kamutz, because he says ki bahem shehem malacher elyon ka'asher yikru Elohim ve'elim. Sometimes in the Hebrew, when you have, for example, Parashat Mishpatim, the word Elohim means a judge, and Elim God, even though they're in the singular, but they're referred to in the plural because, again, of the importance of the individual. So he referred to them in the plural because he realized they're Hashuvim, Malacher Elyon, and he referred to them as Elohim, Adonim, Elim. The same type of text here. It's Adonim Sheli, Adonai, but it's all that would be Hol. Ben Bachya says no, but it really he means also something else. The first Perush Rabbeinu Bachya is like Rashi, it's Hol, and he was talking to all of them together, and then he spoke to the head Malach, Michael separately, and that's why it went from the plural to singular. That's the one who says it's Hol. But he says we also have found that it's not with the Patach Adoshem, it's with the Kamatz, and because according to Ramban, he says, it's a Kamatz because he called them Beshem Rabim, and why is it Kamutz? Because it's according to the Ben Bachya of the Ramban, it's a Kodesh, it's a name, the holy name. This is Kera'am Beshem Rabim, yes, but it's also Kodesh because of the Kamatz, and I will explain that in the next section. But according to both the Ramban, from what we see, a limited part here, limited words, and the Ben Bachya on the Ramban, it is possible because of the Kamatz that is Shem Kodesh, according to the Gemara.